Hey guys, welcome to A Little Bit of Monica. We are heading into the month of September, which means it's time to put together my September TBR. And honestly, this has been a wild experience of trying to figure out exactly what I wanted to do with my month, because I have some things that are coming up that require some additional reading material. And so I have decided to turn September not just into any regular old reading month, but September is instead going to be my series September. This is where I am going to get serious about the series that I am in the middle of. This is going to basically involve me taking series that I have already started, whether it's only having read one book or maybe I'm caught up except for like a new release, and I am going to be trying to tackle these series to get caught up. This is going to help cut down on the books that I have unread on my shelves, because a lot of times I do buy the sequel even if I don't necessarily have the time to read it right away, and now I have quite the backlog. So I am going to, over the next couple of months especially, going to be setting out on this journey of trying to tackle as many series as I can during the month. But I have some specific reasons for some of the series that I want to get to specifically in September. So we are going to get into that in just a little bit, but I have some other things that I want to touch on just for the rest of my TBR, some other things that I do every single month that I want to keep up with here. Along with the book festivals that I will be attending physically, there's also an event happening right here that I am super excited to talk about, because September is the month of the Readathon Rebellion, which is a month-long readathon hosted by Melanie Reads, and I am super excited to be participating in this and to even be sort of a council member leader for this event. It is super fun, and this is a readathon that is based on a board game, which is so exciting because I love board games. So we're going to take a look at the board game that Mel had created for this event. Essentially, we, as a large group, this is a big cooperative kind of thing. We are all working together to make our way across the board game in order to save our leader who has been imprisoned. There is a whole storyline behind this readathon that is so intricate and so freaking cool. Mel is incredible for how she has created all of this, and I'm super excited to be participating. Essentially, I am going to just be working my existing books into the game board prompts as they come up, the different things that we have to do, but basically we are all working together to save our leader, and there are a couple of different teams that you can choose from, of like groups that you get to kind of call your family throughout the event, but largely we are working together. This is not a competitive thing. It's nothing that is super stressful. It's meant to be kind of chill, but really fun to get to participate in and live this like fantastical life of heisting and rescuing your leader. So this is super fun, and I'm super excited to participate. I will have Mel's information linked in the description if you are interested in joining that you haven't already looked into it. There's going to be so much more information. Her announcement video, there's like information everywhere. Also, for our merch lovers, there are t-shirts and sweatshirts available, as well as bookmarks and stickers. These are so cute. I love the metallic of this sticker here. This bookmark is absolutely stunning. I'm obsessed with this. I am actually currently using this in my book, and I had to steal it and put a temporary marker in because I needed to show this. Mel did an incredible job designing everything, so if you want to get your hands on these, make sure to visit her Etsy and make sure that you're putting in your orders so that you don't miss out on these awesome merch products. I am going to just work my existing TBR into the game board, so I'm not going to necessarily build my TBR around this specific thing, but it's also supposed to be low stress so I can work things in as I go. But I am super excited for this Rebellion readathon, and I hope I will see you participating as well. So to start off, I do want to go over the September Stephen King book that we have selected for my Discord run Stephen King book club, and we did end up subbing the book in. Originally we were going to be reading Christine, however Christine is still pretty long. It's like over 500 pages I believe, and we just got off of a book that was over 500 pages. So to switch things up a little bit and keep it a little shorter, we are subbing in The Life of Chuck. So Life of Chuck is going to be our September pick. This is a shorter read. It's going to be a lot quicker, a lot easier to get through, and also the movie for The Life of Chuck did come out. Was it this year? I think it was this year that it came out. Anyway, the movie is supposedly coming out on DVD at the end of the month. So that means that being able to read the book this month and maybe have a little bit easier accessibility to the film, I think works really well to have this book in September. So that's the one for September's Stephen King. However, I have a lot of NetGalley books that I need to go over, and I'm going to do this one a little bit differently than I have in the past, because typically I am trying to read specifically the books that are coming out in the following month. So theoretically for my September TBR, I should be talking about the books that are coming out in October, and I will talk about those. However, I didn't get through all of my September books. I do have a couple of books that are actually coming out on September 2nd, so I need to make sure that I can touch on these right at the beginning. First of all, we have a book that was on my August TBR and I didn't get to it, but Hot Desk by Laura Dickerman. It's gonna go back on the mental list just in case I do have time to get to it. But I also have a new physical arc that I received in the mail from Entangled Amara, and I didn't have this when I was building my August TBR. I only got it a couple weeks ago and haven't had time to fit it in, but this book also comes out on September 2nd, I believe. So It Happened on a Sunday by Tracy Wolff. The other book that comes out on September 2nd that I haven't read yet is Wild Reverence by Rebecca Ross. This one is really, really highly anticipated because I do love other books from Rebecca Ross. Divine Rivals it was incredible. I loved that duology, and so I was really, really excited for Wild Reverence. I only got the arc within the last couple of weeks as well, so I haven't had a chance to actually get to this book, but there's also a sneak peek of the audio on NetGalley, and I snagged that too to hopefully kind of accelerate the process, that it'll make me feel like it's a little easier to read through. But those all come out on September 2nd, so there's really not a lot of time. Do we think I can get all 3 of these books read by September 2nd? Probably not, but we're gonna try anyway, right? I have 2 books that come out on September 16th that I still haven't read yet, and that is No Rest for the Wicked by Rachel Louise Adams and We Met Like This by Casey West. On September 23rd, What Fury Brings by Trisha Levenseller is coming out. Haven't read that one either, so that one's going on the list as an option as well. And then finally on September 30th, The Haunting at Morsley Manor by George Morris Diath. This one is a horror I just haven't had a chance to get to, so we're putting it back on the list. Now we have to get to the October books because I do try to read the books a month in advance just to give myself a little bit more time to read, review, turn around these books. So going into October, I have 2 books that come out on October 7th. The first one is Her Wicked Roots by Tanya Pell. This was a gift from Gallery Books, and I'm really excited for this. It sounds really, really good. Very like garden-y, but haunting and creepy, and I'm really excited for this one. The other book that comes out on October 7th that I got is All of Us Murderers by KJ Charles. This one also sounds very like horror-y, haunting. I think it's got like a haunted house vibe, which is really exciting for me. So that one's going on the list as well. And then I have 2 more books that come out on October 14th that I need to get to. My October list is actually a lot more tame than most of my other months, which is really, really good for me. So I have 2 more for October 14th. The first one is The Bleeding Woods by Brittany Amara, and the second one is The Grace Fee Patient by Caitlin Starling. I haven't actually read a Caitlin Starling yet, even though I own one, which is part of the problem, right? So I'm really excited to hopefully actually get to one of these books and be able to see if this author is for me. But that brings me to the end of all of my arcs. But that is not even close to the end of my TBR. I have so many more books. The stack over here is still stacking, and that's not even all of them. Technically, I could put those up there. So let's go into the rest of my TBR and why these books have been selected for September specifically. In September, I am going to not 1, but 2 book festivals, one at the beginning of the month and one at the end of the month. The one at the beginning of the month, whatever I read in August is what's going to be set for that one. There's really not a lot of flexibility there. However, the one at the end of the month, I do still have some books that I want to read, and that's where a lot of these come in. Not all of them, but most of them. Some of the authors who are going to be at the Bookmarks Festival at the end of September are authors who have written series that I have started and really, really loved, but just haven't actually continued in yet. And so that means I really, really want to set out on this goal of actually completing the series that these authors have written before I get to this event so that I can get the rest of the books signed. So that means that I have turned September into Series September to read a bunch of series, not just ones specifically for the festival, because there's a couple other ones I want to mix in as well, but specifically the ones for the festival. First, these ones are not for the festival, but I do want to just mention them because I want to throw a couple of options in to break things up a little bit more. First of all, Accomplice to the Villain came out in August, and I haven't read this yet, but this is book 3 in the Assistant and the Villain series by Hannah Nicole Mayer. I just haven't had a chance to read it, but I did go to the one of the release events on the tour to get my book signed, and I really, really want to read this book. This is the only one that I need to read to be up to date on the series because I've read the first 2 already. So this one's going to be nice and easy. It's also like a cozy fantasy, romantasy kind of vibe, so I think this is going to be a nice light kind of read that I can throw in between some of these longer series that I have, and it'll be just like a little bit of a change of pace. And kind of along the same vein, I have I don't know actually what the series is called, the Well Met series, the Renaissance Fair series by Jen DeLuca. These are the Afterlight special editions that I got. I read Well Met in one day and like freaking loved it. First of all, I'm a Renaissance Fair girly. I love the Renaissance Fair. I worked there in the past. I have so many friends that work there and go there, and like the Ren Fair is just such a comfort place for me. And reading the Well Met Renaissance Fair romance, like rom-com, was so perfect that I immediately bought the rest of the series, and I bought them in special edition, and then I didn't end up reading the rest of them. Like, I know it doesn't make sense, but that's fact. So I have the other 3 books in the series to read at this point and try to work through. I do believe Jen DeLuca has hinted that maybe there could be a continuation past book 4. I'm kind of hoping so, but I also haven't read the rest to actually know anything more. So I am going to add these in. I think these are also nice because as a rom-com series, I feel like these are a lot lighter, a lot easier to also kind of mix in with some of the heavier fantasy books that I have also on my TBR. So these I think are going to be a nice balance along with Accomplice to the Villain. It's just kind of be nice to like throw these in between and just have a little bit of a, maybe like a palate cleanser kind of deal. But those are both series that I am in the middle of, almost caught up on for Accomplice to the Villain, or just books that I have been meaning to get to and I really want to be reading through my shelves, so it's helpful to have series that I can work through. But we have two more specific series, two more authors that I will be meeting in September, and I want to get caught up on their series. The first one is one that I have actually read just very, very recently. I read Legendborn by Tracy Deonn, and then I immediately went on Pango and bought books 2 and 3. Book 3 is actually relatively new. I'm not quite sure when it came out, but it was very recent. But Bloodmarked and Oathbound, I am obsessed with Legendborn. It's definitely my favorite book that I read in August. It was so spectacular. Everything about it was perfect. Like literally no negative notes. Like it was perfect. And as soon as I finished the book, I knew I needed to get my hands on the other ones. So I got these. This one's real thick, okay? It's gonna take me a little bit maybe, but I'm really excited for this story. It is just such a vivid world. It is such an incredible cast of characters, and the story is just to die for. So I'm really excited to dive into these. And the fact that there are only 2 to get caught up on, and I started the series recently, so I think this is probably going to be one of my first priorities because the story is so fresh. It'll be a lot easier to pick up where book 1 left off because it's more recent in my mind. But I'm really excited to be able to meet Tracy Deonn. She's actually going to be at both of the events that I'm going to in September, at the beginning and the end of the month. But there's no way I'm reading both of these before the National Book Festival at the beginning of September. So I'm going to save these for the Bookmarks Fest instead. Putting those aside though, we have one more author that I desperately need to read. And these books also have quite a story to go with them because I started reading the Ember in the Ashes series last year by Sabaa Tahir. Sabaa Tahir was supposed to be at the Bookmarks Festival in North Carolina last year, and then a hurricane swept through and a number of authors weren't able to make it. Sabaa Tahir was one of them. I was so sad because I had brought all of these books to get signed, but I had only actually read the first one by the time the festival rolled around, so this has allowed me more time to read them. And then I waited an entire year and still haven't read them. So this is my time to actually focus on getting the rest of these books read. So I have A Torch Against the Night, A Reaper at the Gates, and A Sky Beyond the Storm that I need to work through before the festival. I may need a refresher, so will I end up rereading An Ember in the Ashes? If I have time, maybe. Honestly, it's an option. I might reread it just to kind of refresh myself on everything that's going on, and then I can jump into the rest of these. But along with these, I also have Air, which this book I did get from the festival last year. This is, I believe, set in the same world as the Ember in the Ashes books, but like you can read it separately, but you enjoy it a little bit more. You get more of the context of things if you read it after. So I am saving this one for after I have read the rest of these. But that's a lot of books. So 4 books for Sabaa Tahir, 2 books for Tracy Deonn, 3 books for Jen DeLuca, and a Hannah Nicole Mayer. And there are plenty other books on my shelves that can contribute to this series September, but they're gonna go into other months as well. It's gonna be series October and series November and December because I have a lot of series that I need to catch up on. But this is the start of a brand new adventure I'm really excited for, to get through all of these books that I bought because I'm excited for them. And a lot of them I have literally already read parts of the series and I just need to keep going. So I'm excited for the spread here. There's a lot of books. Like I didn't even count. I think it's more than 15. Probably one of the highest numbers of books on a TBR that I've had recently. And yeah, I know it's delusional, it's ambitious, but I am here to have a good time, and I'm really hoping that because I already love these series, I'm hoping that the reading experience is going to be fun, quick, and just like overall enjoyable for the rest of these. So that is my TBR. It is crazy, it is wild, but I am super excited, and I'm excited for all of the events that I have coming up in September. The festivals are going to be so much fun because I have attended them before, so I know they're fun. Wish me luck going into September. If you've read any of these books, especially the series, and you have either read them or maybe you're excited to read them as well, I would love to hear your comments. And just in general, I'm so excited that you're here, so thankful that you have spent your time with me. I appreciate every second that you spend here, and I really hope that I will see you in the next video. Bye!